Last Saturday, I was a guest on Father Jim Drucker's The Doo-Wop Priest Rock and Roll Reveille show on WWDB AM in Philadelphia. One of the other guests on that show was Barbara Ann Hawkins, who, along with her sister Rosalie Hawkins and their cousin Joan Marie Johnson, formed the Dixie Cups. They first broke out in England 60 years ago this year with a song that was produced by Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller named Iko Iko, a traditional New Orleans song that was called Giacomo. Barbara has cordially agreed to talk with us today. Thank you, Barbara, for coming on the Backbeat Show on WUSC FM. I really appreciate it.
Sure, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, so tell us the story about Iko Iko. I've always thought that was a very interesting song.
Well, it's a song that my grandmother used to sing to us when we were little. And I didn't know all of the words, whatever it was she was saying, but because my great-great-great-grandmother was Choctaw Indian. So when we, the Dixie Cups, were in the studio in New York, recording our first album, the band had taken a break. So we thought everybody was gone, that we were the only three in there. So we said, well, let's work on our song. So we started singing it. Well, since there were no musicians, we had to be the musicians. So we took 3 drumsticks, a Coke bottle, a glass ashtray, and there was an aluminum chair in there. And we started drumming and beating on it, and we sang Iko. So Jerry Lieb and Mike Stoller were in the control room. We didn't realize. And they say, hey, girls, can you do that again? So we did. And then they came out and talked to us about it. And they didn't add anything except, I think it's called a calypso box, where you hit a bomb, bomb, bomb. That was the only thing added. So we really produced our song.
Big producers. It is interesting. I came across, was listed as an a cappella version of that, and I think that's the original recording, is it not?
It is.
Yes. So that album, I forget which album of yours it was, but it has the original recording on it. And I'm gonna play that for somebody around here today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got up into New York City, but your manager was who made it, Joe Jones, who's the guy who got you up there to New York City, right, and connected you up. I thought it was very interesting that you weren't connected up with the usual New Orleans producer, fellow named Toussaint.
Right. Well, we met him later. We knew of him, but we had never met him. And we met him later as a producer. And he wanted to record us, but there was some paperwork that needed to be done.
Isn't it always a paperwork?
Yeah. So that stopped us from recording with him. But to get together, we were a group, St. Augustine High School, which is very popular high school. It's all boys school. They have one of the best bands in the world, and they have played for kings and queens, and they've been everywhere in the world. They used to have a talent show once a year, and anyone from any school in the city could participate. So we were on that talent show, and we didn't win anything, but Joe Jones was in the audience, and it was a while after that he was able to get in touch with us and took us to New York, and we recorded.
When you were in
Our first song was Chapel of Love.
The first one in the United States, right?
Yeah. And we didn't know that at the time. They hadn't told us that it had been recorded twice before by the Ronettes and by the Crystals. So we never, they didn't play it for us anything. They just, Ellie Greenwich and
Jeff Barry,
her husband. Yeah. They were the ones that Jerry and Mike put us with to come up with songs to record. And it was weird when they played Chapel. We were just standing around the piano looking, and they said, well, you like this one? And we said, well, do we have to sing it like that? So Jeff said, well, how would you sing it? I said, well, give us a minute. So we walked over in the corner and we came up with Chapel the way it was recorded, the beginning a cappella, and then bring the band in.
Yeah. That was, of course, that was your American breakout. You had already broken out in the UK with Iko Iko.
No, Iko was after Chapel.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Chapel was 64 and Iko was 65.
Oh, okay. I think I saw a picture of Cashbox magazine in '64 that had you and Jeff and Ellie on it.
Oh, yeah, that was a horrible picture.
As a matter of fact, I'm looking at that picture right now. Jeff looks like he's going to lean out of the corner there.
That was a terrible picture. They didn't tell us they were going to take pictures. We had no makeup or anything.
The expression in your face is what? What are you doing?
I know. You're taking a photo?
And then they put it on a magazine cover of all things.
Right.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Well, you've toured with a whole bunch of people. I know that you've toured with Gene Pitney.
Oh, yes.
What was that like?
It was awesome. We traveled on the bus, and it was amazing because Gene, being the big star that he was, he traveled on the bus with us. And Gene and a lot of the guys used to play cards all night. So there was a bunk in the front of the bus behind the driver, and that was Gene's bunk. Well, I was first on the bus, so I got on the bunk and got close to the wall so that he could sit there. So he sat there and played cards and everything. So I said, well, he's not gonna go to sleep, because I used to sleep in the luggage rack up above.
Really? Yeah, you're kind of a small lady, so you can fit
I was. So I would climb up there and take my pillow and sleep up there. So I said, well, I'm going to sleep on the bunk right now until Gene get ready for his bunk. But it was a very interesting tour. We went a lot of places that we had read about. And it was just amazing. I mean, we are truly blessed. 3 Black girls from New Orleans projects, and our name is big, and we have done shows in all 50 states, and we've been to many countries. We haven't been to Venice, Africa, Israel, China, to name a few.
Yeah.
But we've been everywhere else.
World travelers.
Yes, we enjoyed it.
Three young ladies from the projects from New Orleans up there, world travelers with
That's
Gene
right.
Pitney. Well, who else did you tour with?
Oh my God, Sonny and Cher. Oh Lord, you name them, and we've toured with them. Let me see, that tour. Brian Hyland, the Crystals. So many.
Yeah.
It would be better for you to name them, and then I say yes.
Well, let's just put it this way: if they were big back in the '60s, you were touring with them.
That's right. That's right.
Well, one question:
right.
You never toured with the Beatles, though, did you?
No, we didn't. I think we met the drummer.
Ringo Starr.
Yeah, we met him in England. We were friends with the Animals.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Eric and Alan and them took us out, and we went to this place where all the musicians hang out, and he was in the elevator. So we got to meet him.
So that big old shock of black hair that Eric Burden had back in the day, I understand he still got it, but it's white now.
Okay. I haven't seen him in a while, because he used to come to New Orleans a lot because he liked the Neville Brothers, and he would come to their show. So I would see him there. Yeah. But I haven't seen him in a while. I would really love to at least talk to him. Let me mention that Rosa wrote a book, Chapel of Love. It's the story of New Orleans girl group, the Dixie Cups, on sale through, I guess you could get it through Amazon or one of those places.
So that's your cousin.
No, Rosa, my sister.
Your sister. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So she passed a few years ago, though, unfortunately, didn't she?
Yeah, January 11th, 2022.
We all miss her. And your cousin Joe Marie is still around?
No, she passed before Rose, like
Oh,
3 years before
uh-huh.
Rose.
Oh, okay. You guys lived in New Orleans up until
Mhm.
about 2005 in Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah, she
So,
ran us out of there.
where,
So,
what
my
was that
sister,
like?
it was weird because in New Orleans, usually, if there was a hurricane, you would pack up 3 days of clothes and you would go somewhere. You stay the 3 days, you go back home, clean up, and everything was fine. But Katrina was totally different. And whenever we left, we would always travel with the Nevilles,
Hmm.
uh, in all our cars, we caravan. But this time I was late uh, renting a car. So they left and they gave me directions as to where they were going. So I was on the way there, Rosa and I, and we stopped in Baton Rouge at my nephew's house and we stayed there a few days. And Rosa's son had been trying to reach us. In fact, he called the Red Cross and asked them could they find us, because all communication was kind of scalpy.
Hmm.
So when we did get Eric, Rosa's son, on the phone, he said, I have to see you. I said, well, we're on our way to Tennessee. He said, I don't care where you're going. I need to see you. So we drove here to Florida. We were able to, meet up, and his in-laws, Ms. Dot Reed, she cooked every day and fed us.
Hmm.
We were like homeless for like 9 months.
Oh, my
The
goodness.
hotel where we stayed, the guy was he was amazing. When we checked in, of course, we didn't have any reservations or anything. So when I gave him my driver's license, he said, oh, okay. So he gave us a room. We didn't have to pay. We didn't put any money up. Uh, and we stayed there. We were there like maybe 6 or 7 months. And then it was the people in New York that really helped us and got us an apartment.
Hmm.
Music Cares. They got us an apartment, and
So your home in New Orleans was destroyed by Katrina?
it was pretty bad. We, well, really, our original home was in a no flood zone, and they got 16 feet of water.
16 feet?
Yeah.
Wow.
So Rosa had just purchased a home in the East. So we had just moved in there maybe about a year, if that long. And when we left, the house was up off the ground because a lot of homes are on slabs.
Hmm.
But this house was up off the ground. Well, Katrina took half the roof off and the water came in from the bottom anyway. So the house was messed up top and bottom.
Mm.
Now we would have repaired and stayed, but the mortgage company, they didn't know where we were. Like a lot of people, they didn't, they just left and they never went back. So a lot of mortgage companies were stuck. They had
Hmm.
to just sell the houses. But we called and told them where we were, and we asked them if they would put 1 year behind, like let's say we had a 20-year
Hmm.
mortgage. We
Hmm.
say, okay, make it 21 years and we don't have to pay anything right now. We can repair and regroup. And they told us to go jump in the lake.
Hmm.
So Rosa did a quick sale, got rid of it, and we just stayed here in Tampa.
Yeah. So now you're a Floridian, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
my.
that's what they say.
Yeah. So I'm certainly hoping this anniversary year, the 60th anniversary of Iko Iko, is a good one for you.
But so far, it has been, all the festivals that we've done, they've been beautiful. And my little niece, who's 5, we bring her up on stage with us, and she sings Iko with us.
Oh, wow. That's great. Family first, right?
Right, right.
Barbara Ann, thank you so much for spending some time with us this morning and tell us about your adventures with hurricanes and your adventures with the Dixie Cups.
Right, right. Well, thank God. And I have to thank all of the disc jockeys all over the world and especially the fans. Because without the disc jockeys and the fans, there would be no me.